and welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome back to the channel, guys, as Barça do return from the international break with a very important win in La Liga. Tonight, it was just the one goal against Las Palmas, although let's be honest, it could have and should have been many more. It was an eventful game for a 1-0, but it was Raphinha in the end, with magic from Joao Felix to make it all happen. We're going to be discussing the game right here. Thank you indeed for joining me. Another win. Let's do this. And I would like to kick off this match review video today by giving a big shout out to Saeed, who said on the super thanks, "Here you go, you sexy man." I think we're all getting a little bit too excited here, but thank you indeed very much. I've been waiting for a special moment since the Atleti game, and I dedicate this victory to you and to all of you guys who are tuning in here late into the night. And let's look here at the Barça starting lineup, because honestly, there wasn't too many surprises there from Xavi, although of course he wasn't on the touchline tonight. There was no Araujo. He was indeed rested. Also in midfield there, no Andreas Christensen. But I was quite surprised that both Yamal and Robert Lewandowski started after they did have pretty hectic international breaks, and Raphinha once again in that front line. And I think early on, Barça certainly caused Las Palmas problems, and there was space in behind there that we were exploiting very well. Lewandowski had an early goal there disallowed due to the offside flag, and then of course came the really contentious moment in that first half. One of those decisions in La Liga that just makes you think, what on earth are you doing? Because Raphinha here, he's in an offside position. Yes, he is. But when that ball is played, it's played to Lewandowski. Lewandowski is the one there that moves on to that pass. And as you can see right here, he not only gets there, Raphinha is nothing to do with this phase. He's nothing to do with that ball. The Las Palmas defender also goes on to touch that ball twice. 2 different times before Raphinha is even involved. So that initial offside there is null and void. It does not have any impact at all on the play. And in the end, when Raphinha does touch it, it's all fine. That phase has ended. And I cannot believe here this goal was disallowed. I think all the Barcelona players, the coaching staff on the bench, nobody could believe it. And some of the decisions again today, guys, unbelievable. Gundogan was actually pictured saying there in the second half, what a joke. He could not believe that he was booked. He could not believe with what he was seeing from the referees. Some awful calls. Raphinha, though, was involved just moments after that, though, with a decision here that even a referee in La Liga could not possibly get wrong. Because I've got to say, the goalkeeper clatters Raphinha. It's a great ball through, actually, from Sergio Roberto over the top there. Gundogan does really well to win it back initially. And Raphinha there, he's in on goal until the goalkeeper flies out and just smashes into him. Raphinha actually did a whole flip in the air. Such was the velocity of that challenge there, and absolutely no arguments. That's got to be a red card, and thankfully Raphinha was absolutely fine after that challenge. He did well to absorb it. He really did, to sort of roll out of that. Red card, though, for Las Palmas. But I've got to say, guys, that red card, it kind of changed the game in many ways, and maybe not in our favour, because before that, like I say, there was real space opening up. Las Palmas were playing high up the field. They were happy to play. They were coming here with actually quite an ambitious game plan. But after that red, then, they really had to retreat. With 10 men, it was a much different game. There was less space in behind. They were much deeper in the field. And of course, Barça find it difficult against those kinds of defences. And there was a big chance just before half-time. Again, Raphinha was involved in a lot of different areas today. Some magnificent. This one here, not so good, because it was actually worked brilliantly by Gundogan, who actually unlocks the defence, plays it into Cancelo, who cuts it back for Raphinha, and it's a really poor finish in the end. He scuffs the finish wide, should have done better, got to hit the target from there. But in the first half, for sure, Barça had real chances. We had a perfectly good goal that was disallowed. Absolutely no idea why. Still no idea even now. But we were causing problems, even despite the game changing after that red card. Also, though, in the first half, Robert Lewandowski did indeed hit the crossbar. That was another nearly moment for Barça. And I would also just say here, on Lamine Yamal today, guys, do any of you guys feel the same here? That maybe he wasn't as explosive, maybe he wasn't as lively and as sharp as maybe we've seen him in recent times in this game. And again, I'm just wondering here, could he have done with that little bit more rest? Because I think he looked a bit jaded in his play. We didn't really penetrate an awful lot down that right-hand side. A lot of things came there through Raphinha Raphinha, and then of course with Joao Felix when he came on. So that right side maybe wasn't as effective as it usually is for Barca, and that may come from Yamal just playing a bit too much football right now. We have to remember he's only 16 years old. These are a lot of demands here on this young man's shoulders, and we've got to be very, very careful for him. He did come off there as that second half went on, but the big change of course came in the 56th minute there when it was Fermin Lopez that came off and Joao Felix came on, and that changed the game. It was as simple as that there, because what you actually saw then in that front line was Yamal on the right, Lewandowski down the middle, Felix then came on and played off to the left, but he's going to come in a more central area too. But crucially, you've got Raphinha then, who I didn't think actually enjoyed it too much out on the left today. I think so many times he got the ball and he was sort of on that wrong side. He didn't feel comfortable, shooting on a different side. But when you put him centrally, he can make very clever runs, as you see for the goal, as he can do there, running from deep when the defence can't pick him up, and it can be very, very dangerous indeed. And the goal, guys, what a moment from Joao Felix this is. And by the way, this is what he's all about. This is the talent, this is the quality that Joao Felix possesses there, the ability to change a game. Because this was something out of nothing. He picks up the ball just inside the Las Palmas half, he advances with it, he's got his head up there, he's looking for runners, he's looking for an opportunity, and he sees Raphinha's run, and he picks him out wonderfully. Because the weight on this pass was sublime. Absolutely pinpoint accuracy there to just lift it beautifully over the Las Palmas defence, drops it right in behind onto Raphinha's head, and you've got to say as well, wonderful finish from Raphinha. We've actually seen him score a headed goal like this before against Osasuna, don't forget, when it sort of looped over the goalkeeper. He's done it again here. He's very good in these areas, coming onto balls like that. He gets a really good connection on the header, and it's 1-0 Barca, and this is a goal here that they could not take away from us, even despite all the decisions that I'm sure they'd have liked to have made, because Felix created magic. Raphinha finished it off wonderfully, and that was a key moment there, and of course the moment that won us the game. But I did think Joao was lively there in those central areas. He was picking the ball up, moving inside, he had a bit of space as well to work with today. He picked out Ferran to make his return from injury, Ferran nearly scoring instantly there on his return, and it was Felix who was really pulling the strings. But what I could not believe is that Joao Felix didn't score himself, because again it's Gundogan pulling the strings there, releasing passes, unlocking the defence. Koundé then squares one across the box. Joao Felix is at the back post, he is right in front of goal. You are thinking 2-0, game over. Joao Felix getting a goal there that he very much deserves today, and somehow it doesn't go in. And I think Felix here, maybe it bobbles a bit on the way to him. I think maybe in some ways he almost feels as though he's going to score. It might be a lazy finish there. He just sort of hacks at it, but it cannons off the bar, and I could not believe there that that was not 2-0 Barca. And I do have to say, in the closing stages of the game, things did get a little bit nervy, because we weren't able to put the game to bed. We weren't able to finish all the chances that we had. Again, it was a 1-goal scoreline. We've seen Barca play a bit nervy in these moments this season, but luckily we were able to see it out. And of course what this all means, guys, and what we have to recognise here tonight, is that we are now 5 points behind Real Madrid at the top of the La Liga table. And that is significant, because heading into Sunday, Real Madrid will play against Athletic Club in La Liga. That is a massive game there in the title race. Real Madrid will be without Vinicius, of course. Do not forget that there. That's a big blow to them. And a lot right now is riding on that game, because we have done our job, and that's the most important thing here this weekend. We played first, we had a job to do. It wasn't easy tonight, there was a few obstacles that we had to overcome, but we've done our job. We have put the pressure on Real Madrid, and all that we can do now is rely on others, is wait and see what happens, and ultimately see if there's any window of opportunity, especially with El Clasico looming in the distance in a few weeks. So I want to know, guys, in the comments down below here today, what did you make of the game? Of course, returning from international break, we know that's never easy. We know we find it difficult here to sort of pick up where we left off before it, but what did you make of the display? Who were the match winners today? Who were the standout players in your opinion? Let me know all of that down below, and we will be discussing the game in a lot more detail, of course, in the days to come. Thank you indeed here. I'm sure many of you staying up late into the night to watch this review. I really appreciate that, and I will catch all of you very soon. Thank you, guys, but until next time, as always, Visca, El Barça.